G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for episode number 10 of our Hardcore Death Knight achievement run. Just like to flash up old Memento Mori here, just as a little reminder of what happens when you do things you don't have to do in Hardcore, or at least what can happen. Anyhow, let's get into this, and we'll continue with the second half of Ashes of Malmouth. Now, I did last episode talk about farming one of these belts. This is one of the ones I found, and honestly, this is probably the best one I found. Generally speaking, you want, obviously, the base item, the Ukdumbod girdle, for the +1 in all skills to soldier, and you just want to get like 1 or 2 good resistances on it. Don't go fishing for a perfect triple rare or whatever. Just get a bunch of them, pick one that has a resistance that you need, and move on from there. Now I put this on, and I've noticed a bit of a problem, especially coming up in the second half of Ashes of Malmouth. There is going to be Aether damage, and oh boy is there going to be tons of it. So this is unacceptable. Our chaos is also a little bit low, especially considering the next area we're going into is going to feature a ton of chaos damage and vitality and fire. Now, vitality and fire are perfectly fine, but this is a problem. So if I just take off the least best ring that I have in terms of resistances, you'll notice that none of my resistances actually move. So with no ring, I'm capped. Which means if I can find a ring that happens to have a little bit of Aether resistance on it, say from going to a merchant and typing in Aether res, and I'm going to copy that to my clipboard. By doing this, I can find a ring, and I've just shown that it doesn't matter what the ring is, as long as it has that Aether resistance, I'm good. And then if you just bounce between Homestead, and you'll have 2 merchants to check here. I will of course buy those because you'd be silly not to. But if you just bounce between Homestead and Devil's Crossing a few times, you're going to find a ring with, 15-20% of whatever resistance you want. Now, I am recording a video, so of course it's being a little more painful than usual. And also, again, with this one, you don't have to go fishing for a specific type of ring. You don't have to go fishing for even a single rare affix. Something as simple as a warding copper band will do the job here. It's not being friendly with me, but let's see here. Here we go. Warding of Celerity. That's perfect. 18% Aether resistance will fill that hole. 6% cast speed is a bit more damage, and honestly, I don't care about the little bit of extra energy regen, but it's a nice to have bonus. We also don't have a soul shard on there, and we have a ton of vitality, so I might put for example, a frozen heart or something on there just for some more health. But let's go have a look at the blacksmith here. What do we get for rings? Ectoplasm, energy, not really. Frozen heart, that's 70 hit points and some freeze and petrify resistance. That's pretty good. Blood here, this rolling blood, 8% fizz damage and 18 offensive ability. That's honestly pretty good. The Searing Ember is obviously not going on rings, and neither is the Searing Claw. So we've got Roiling Blood, and I think I may have some of those in here. Yep, Roiling Blood, tons of them. And I'll just chuck that on there. That's a little bit of percent physical and a little bit of offensive ability. Honestly, the Frozen Heart probably would have been better. And I think I have a couple of those. Yeah, I've got 12 of them. So that would have been fine as well. And now all our resistances are maxed. And I do want my Anti-Venom Salve back because it has armor on it. I don't really care about the poison resistance, but the 24 armor on that will apply to all of my other armor slots, so you'll see the armor rating average goes up a decent amount there. While we're speaking of armor, I'm looking at the shoulder armor value there, and I'm kind of side-eyeing the feet armor value there as well. Those are getting to be a little bit low, and they're getting to be a bit of a problem. So I will have a quick look in the merchant here for some shoulders, but I'm not expecting to find anything. And honestly, I'm not going to go looking. No. I think we will replace our shoulders when we get to Elite, and we can go kill some of Cronley's goons. And at that point, we want to get the Ascended shoulders, although, again, Incendiary would be fine. With that said, let's go ahead and, you know what, I'm going to sell that. The skin is banned. That's another thing I was thinking of as well. I'm not going to use these. Now, these are really, really good gloves. That heal proc is really nice, but I don't think it's fair to use purple items that are going to be damn near impossible for you to get. Unless you get this from that quest reward, you will not have these gloves. And it kind of feels like cheating to have such a good item. So I'm going to sell those, and I'm not going to use probably any random purples I find. I think blues are okay, because if you wanted a Zorhan's battle plate, you could just go do totems for half an hour, and you would probably have 2 of them. Same with leg plates of Valor. These drop all the time. I've already had 2 of them, and I didn't even go looking for them. So these are fairly common. I feel okay using these. But those purple gloves, those are like as rare as rocking horse dung. Like, you're just not going to find it. So with that said, I'm going to try to avoid using random purple items. And if I find some of the rarer blue items, I might avoid using those as well. For example, like Tremor is not super rare. I think it's Tremor. There's a blue Force Wave weapon that's really good, but it's kind of unreliable, and using, I think it's Stonefist Rebuke, the purple one, I'm not going to do that. If it drops, I will point it out. I will tell you how awesome it is and why, and then I will sell it. But I think blues are probably fine for armor slots, although I will not be using them for weapons, I think. If you have any thoughts on that, whether you want me to use blues or purples, chuck that down in the comments, just let me know. But I think at this point I'm going to use blues, except for weapon, and I'll probably skip the purples, unless it's something like, you know, Ignifar's leg plates at level 80 or something like that. Something really common that I get all the time, I will maybe use. For example, chest and legs, you get tons of those while leveling, but something specific like a pair of gloves with really good armor and a healing proc, I think that's probably a little bit too on the nose, and it doesn't really show kind of how good the build is. It's more showing how good the item is, because if you don't get that item, you lose a huge amount of healing potential on the build. And speaking of healing potential that you maybe didn't get, if you don't have the Juggernaut Relic, we're about ready to get to the point where you will be able to get it, definitely 100%. Okay, so we're opening the Chthonic Rift. Before we go in, I'm looking at my Chaos Res. It's not great, but it is capped, that's probably fine. And Vitality is perfectly fine. You also want to check your Fire Resist and your Poison Resist before you're going in here. Ideally, you have everything capped anyway, and it's not an issue. Things like piercing and bleeding, cold you definitely don't care about. So you can have a little bit of a deficit in your cold. Okay, Desolate Wastes, there is an Exalted Chest in here. I am going to go and check a couple of the spots to find it, but we're not here for the Exalted Chest, so if I don't find it, it's fine. Let me pick that up. I will be needing some bits. So this head here, you will know when you find the Exalted Chest. They are massive, purple, glowy chests. Obsidian Shards, I think they're called. It'll be here if there is one under that head. And don't stress if you don't find it, it's just a blue item. Okay, the other place you can find it is over here along this left side. And again, it's kind of like this, but it's massive and has a purple glowy aura around it. You cannot miss this thing if you find it. It's going to be in here somewhere. I think it's maybe here. That's alright. I didn't find it. I'm going to move on. I think the other place you can find it if you wanted to look is in the top left of the area. It's not really important, so I'm going to skip it. but if you were to go through this whole area and look for it, make sure you do find it. And the other good thing about this being a chthonic area is you get the tyrants, and I think they're called corruptors, blue ones maybe. And this guy, nope. Anyway, those guys drop our weapon, so you can potentially get a weapon upgrade. I haven't checked what level the next upgrade for the weapon is, but it's probably something like 55 or 60. Alright, Void's Edge. Now we're starting to get a little bit scary. There is also the boss in here, Ekhetzul. Ekhetzul is probably the most scary thing between here and Theoden at the end of Ashes. Let's see if we can't get him out of there so I can actually hit him. There we go. Yeah, so Ekhetzul is a big demon. He'll flap his wings at you, he'll put a volcano underneath you. The volcano, I believe, does fire and percentage life damage. Whatever it actually does, it really hurts. It's not something you want to be standing near. However, we are basically going to stand in Force Wave with potentially 1 or 2 relocations. And that's the plan for killing this guy. And it should work, as long as your resistances are capped and you don't have absolutely hideous armor, which, I'm going to be honest, I'm looking at my shoulders. They're level 20 shoulders, I'm level 46. The monsters in this area are almost level 50. Those shoulders are actually bad. But hopefully it'll be okay. If I can find a pair of shoulders, I was going to say a pair of shoulders with chaos resistance, which these are. The issue, of course, is that it's not enough chaos resistance. So if I had found, for example, an incorruptible sapphire band, that would have had some chaos res on it. So I could go shopping again, but I think I'm just going to push on and deal with the shoulders later. But I will be keeping an eye out for a pair of shoulders. Why can't I pick this up? There we go. Pathing has been extra crap today. Okay, so in here, once you go past that, that's the generic there's a boss coming up here door. So in this arena, basically as soon as you get to this thing, Ekhetzul's going to spawn just to the, I guess that's going to be northwest of it. And he's going to flap his way down here. Here he is. And the idea is, we kill him before he puts a volcano under us. Which should be, yeah, that should have been the next thing he did, would be to put a volcano under us. As soon as you see those little bits of fire spurting around, you'll probably notice your health bar evaporating as well. Make sure you get out of the way. Just go over here. And then go back to force waving. And you'll be fine. I just noticed the 400 hit points on this. It's pretty good. Unfortunately, no +1 to skills, so we're not using it. Once you've killed Ekhetzul, you can walk past all this stuff, and it'll stop chasing you before you get to the next thing you have to stop for. So you can kill that if you want, but you can just walk past it as well. You can see here on the map we found Olgrim, so we'll talk to him. Now be careful about what you say to him. If you do this wrong, you can end up fighting him, and he is quite dangerous. We probably could take him, but it doesn't serve any purpose. There is an achievement for taking him out in here, but it's not a hardcore achievement, and it's best to do this kind of thing on softcore. So let me see here. I'm your friend. Okay, we'll take the Void. The option that makes him aggressive and you have to attack him and kill him, that option will actually have in brackets at the end of it something along the lines of attack Olgrim or something like that. Just don't click that and you'll be fine. From here we're heading sort of northwest-ish to get out. And there's nothing else between here and the exit that I really care about killing. Although everybody loves more XP. And these guys, actually, I lied. I want to kill these. Potentially, I want a barbaric prefix on my weapon, or I want a tyrant's prefix on my weapon. Both of those would be very, very nice. Of the two, I think I'd probably prefer tyrants, just so I can apply like enemies deal less damage to me kind of thing. But either one would be really, really good. Don't care about those. Don't care about those. Alright, we just leave. That's fine. Okay. Don't forget to talk to Olgrim. He is very easy to miss here. Alright, and we get a Blood of Chthon and a random recipe that you probably will have already learned this when he gives it to you. I'm not sure if he's programmed to give you a recipe you already know, but it seems like pretty much every time he gives me one that I already know. Alright, level 46. We continue putting points into Spectral Wrath. And let me actually just show Spectral Wrath in all its glory. So this is Spectral Wrath's damage. We're not really at the point where we can ignore trash and have them kill themselves with Spectral Wrath. And we're not scaling Vitality or Aether damage, at least not yet. So we'll never really get to that point on this build. But if you're playing a Vitality or an Aether build, you absolutely can. Especially if you're playing like a Ravenous Earth Vitality caster of some flavor or another, like a Ritualist or an Oppressor or something like that. You can absolutely get to the point where you just stand in packs of trash and just laugh maniacally as they kill themselves just by hitting you. It's pretty fun. One of the Death Knight builds that I'm going to recommend at the end of this series is an Aether based one. Another one will be a Vitality based one, and both of those will be using the Spectral Wrath for Resistance Shred, and also just for fun. Just letting things melt on your Spectral Wrath is really fun. Or at least I find it particularly fun. Okay, so we're out of the Chthonic area now. Now it's all Aether, all day, every day, until we're finished. If you ignore this little section here and the one more area actually. So I lied. It's not all Aether all day, but once we get into the city it will be. I am looking out here for camps like this with circles on the ground. There's 3 of these that are kind of red and glowy, and in the middle of one of them is going to be a portal into a chthonic area. You can choose not to go in there if you're worried about, you know, for example, you've only got 60% Chaos Res or something like that. You can definitely choose not to go in there, and that's fine. They are dangerous areas. But I am... That's rubbish. Piercing. I am going to go in there in this one section. Deliberately going into a dangerous area that we don't need to do. So you could skip this, but the XP for it is really, really nice. And I don't think it's that dangerous. Okay, now that I'm finished waffling, let me go to where I know these portals are. See this big red thing? This is one of the 3 that can have the portal in it. This is also going to be a good place to farm up a weapon if you don't already have one. The Chthonics in here are a good source of that, of these Obsidian War Cleavers, and you really want one of these unless you happen to find one of the specific blue or purple items that is good for Force Wave. I did just notice a totem. It is void touched, which is not ideal, but it also doesn't really matter. With your resistance as maxed, you'll be fine. The important part is that it's not ancient, so pretty easy. Actually, this being void touched is good because potentially we could get one of our weapons here. Someone's put some goop on the ground. Alright, what do we got here? Mantles. Okay, I like mantles. No, not enough resistances, unfortunately. I don't think any of the rest of this is particularly amazing. Battle mages. Again, not for this character, but if it was Death Knights, it could potentially have been good. Alright, don't really care about these guys and both these guys and the undead guys that put you in cages. Not a fan. I don't like being held in place. Right, here we go. So, when you find Dahlia, just ignore her for now, but this is a good marker on the map. When you find her, head south down the right side of the map and you will find the third, or I guess second, depending on which ones you've gone to first, portal. Now, unfortunately, this is also not the one I want, which means I think I'm up here for the other one, or down here. Alright. Seals of Binding, very nice, very nice. I probably should get that. Okay. See this? All these skulls? That's Spectral Binding. And now they're all dead. Okay, where is my third portal? I really should have the map open for this. Here we go. This looks like it. Nope. Pretty sure it's not on the side here. But I do want to kill this guy. Did I already walk through it? Is that what happened? No. Okay, it's got to be to the north. That's fine. If I don't find it shortly, I'm going to open the map and cheat. But I have found the best way to learn the maps is to try and find things without using the online map.
I can't do that yet.
But in the interest of speeding this up, I may have to check the online map. I think it's just sort of up here. It'll be the third one. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, there it is. Okay. When you come out of here, you will not come out here. You will come out sort of over this way somewhere. So make sure you loot anything around the portal you want before you go in. This is a big area. We've come in on the right side, it looks like. The monster we're here to kill is sort of down the bottom in the middle. And you will know you found him because he is huge. So Bandragos, the Thrall of Dravis, this is who we're here for. He has two little minions, one or both of them will heal him. It's never been an issue for me, but I do tend to kill them first. There we go. And he should go down relatively easily. Dravis's offering is the quest item we're here for. Now do be careful when you're in this area, because just up here somewhere, let's see if I can find him. There is a super unique, I guess you'd call him, who is a little bit scary in here, so I'm actually not going to explore too much. We need to get out of here, although more tyrants, more better. And the way you find the exit in places like this is you just walk around the edge. Pretty much all of these will have a treasure trove in here as well. That's why I'm checking down here. But not today. And you can choose to fight these or not. It probably doesn't really matter. The Void Oppressors, the one with the aura around it, they will actually reduce your maximum health. So if you do see them, probably kill them. You definitely want to be racist against those guys. Okay, this is getting a little depressing. Where's the exit? There's the treasure trove, which I will absolutely open. Blood of Cthon, and a recipe for some shoulders. Those shoulders actually are not horrible. Woodstone, runestone, they're pretty... Whoa, 25 scrap. I was going to say they're pretty cheap and they look decent, but no. No, 25 scrap is quite pricey. Okay, here's my exit, and as long as I'm here, I'll help myself to some free loot. This guy's trying to jump for the exit. So as you can see, it's kind of like a big area. In the middle, you know what, I'll just show it. In the middle is going to be the boss that I talked about. I haven't found him anywhere else, so I pretty much guarantee he's going to be here. I say as he's not here. Don't go in there, that'll take you to another layer in here. Lunar Valgoth is in there, so you can fight her or not as you wish. Where is this guy? Well, maybe he's not here today. Anyway, there's a guy in here. Usually he hangs out kind of in this area, and he can be a little scary, so be aware of him. Maybe avoid him. If you are going to fight him, try to fight him on his own. Alright, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to Dahlia. I'm going to call her Dahlia. I know it's wrong, but I've been calling her that for so long, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to leave a portal here. Now, I'm probably going to forget and overwrite that at some point. But hopefully I will remember, I won't overwrite it, and we'll be able to use it later. If you don't have a lot of Aether Crystals and you need some, this can be a good place to get them. There are a lot of Aether Crystals sort of on the outskirts of the city. The problem with it, of course, is that this place is a bit of a maze. So it may not be the best place to go looking for them. Well, actually, it's definitely not the best place to go looking for them. That would be Krieg's lab. But if you're in the situation we are here, where we're working our way through Ashes, and we haven't yet unlocked Elite Warden's Lab yet, this can be an okay place to get them. There are a decent handful of them around. Okay, with that said, we're going to poke our heads inside here. This little spot here is fun. There's a lot of stuff that kind of get funneled through this gate and across this bridge. And if you can kind of get them to all just come through this gate, you can just hang out here and force wave the gate and everything will melt as it comes through it. We don't need to go in there, it's just fun. Okay, there's two ways into the sewers that we need to access in this area. One of them is here, and the other one is a little further to the north. You can kind of see it on the map there, stairs down. We are going to use the one to the north, because we need to get the Rift Gate first. And on our way to the Rift Gate, we are getting this shrine. So this one's relatively cheap, 1 Aether Shard. If you don't have an Aether Shard, there's potentially one right here, but you can make an Aether Shard out of Aether Crystals if you go to a blacksmith. So it's basically free. Okay, we were doing the bear. Apparently I grabbed one earlier and didn't use it, so I've been walking around with less armor and damage than I could have had. And now we've got a little bit of stun duration reduction, and also freeze duration reduction. And I'm going to skip this one and get the proc next, and then come back for that. That proc is going to go onto Blitz, and it's going to provide us with some armor shred on our opening move. Also lifesteal. Okay, here's the other cellar entry that we're going to go into, and this part of Ashes is really fun. So we can't get it now, but when we get to this part in Elite, and as soon as we are level 70, I think 72, as soon as the monsters are level 75, we can start farming for the Krieg set in Elite, which is a good way to level up if you're maybe a little bit behind. It's a good way to get reputation with the Malmouth resistance if you don't have that. And it's a good way to farm your level 94 legendary set and have the entire thing ready to go when you hit level 94. So that is the major strength of Death Knight. It's that set. No, I won't say no other build, because there are a few that will use Krieg set, but no other set can be farmed entirely before level 94 with a fresh start character. You might get lucky, maybe, and pick up a few pieces, but you would be very, very lucky. In this section here, I'm actually going the wrong way here, so let me just turn around. In this area, the Burning Cellar, is an ethereal whose name is Taraxia, I think. Turnox. I'm going to start with a T. Turnox here is going to drop the boots for the Krieg set. Not in normal. You can't get it in normal. Doesn't matter if you go to level 100 in normal. She isn't going to drop it. But that's the boss we're going to be farming in Elite. And this little lectern here, this is the reason we came in. Travis's letter. And there's one other room I want to hit in here. This next part is optional. You can, right now, turn around, walk out, go back to the Rift Gate, and go back to Dala. But there is a nice room in here. If you don't get Turnox in this room, she may also be just here. And if she's not there, then she will be in this room. Now this room is one of my favorites because guaranteed dynamite there. And because this is an area that drops dynamite, all of these barrels and stuff can have dynamite. And the fun thing about this build is you have damage on Warcry, so you just pop them all. I have had as many as, I think, 7 dynamite in this room, just this room with all the crates and stuff. I've had 7 dynamite in this room. I think that's the most I've seen. That is very uncommon. You are not going to get that most of the time. Most of the time you'll get 2 or 3. This time I obviously lucked out and only got the 1, but it is what it is. So it turns out I shouldn't have gone there this time, but you can get a lot of dynamite from farming this area. And you'll see that in Elite when we farm it for the Krieg's boots. Okay, now that we have those quest items, let's head back to the Rift Gate here. Successfully did not clear my rift, so this will take us straight to our quest, and we can just turn in. Here we go. I think I have what you're looking for. What now? I've been there. I found only his minions. There we go. And she'll give you a random blue, I think, ranged weapon, but it's a random blue, and in Ultimate it'll be a specific purple weapon. Okay, 48 will let us max out Spectral Wrath, and now we're going to continue putting points into Spectral Binding. So this will give us more life, this will give us more offensive ability, this gives us damage and physical resistance shred, so this is what we're actually after. This is really nice to have, and once we're done here in, I guess, 4 more levels, we'll be going back to Soldier. Alright, that's done. Let's head into the sewers. Okay, for this section, you can kind of motor a little bit. You don't need to kill everything on the way. And in fact, using your 2 movement skills for this area can be really nice. I am going to change this rush skill. In Elite, I'm going to get another Blitz instead, or, you know, Shadow Strike if you prefer that. But basically another kind of long-ranged dash to the monster kind of movement skill. This one is nice when you don't have a target because it allows you to get a little bit of extra speed. But usually you will have a target. And Blitz or Shadow Strike will allow you to cover much more distance. Because if you can see it, you can charge to it. And if it happens to be like up here or something, you could charge up the entire length of your screen, around a corner, down here. You can get some really long charges off. Alright, so moving through the sewers, again, you can kill stuff or not. It doesn't really make a huge difference. That looked interesting. What's that? Ethereal Storm Drinker. Pretty sure that's just one of the worms, but you know what? I'm gonna go kill it anyway. This area can be a little dangerous if you are getting surrounded, especially if there's a bunch of those elemental worms that pop up. Even with max resistances, if there's a pack of like 3 or 4 and then another pack of another 3 or 4, They can do a lot of damage very, very quickly. Alright. That little section is behind dynamite walls, and there's no reason for us to go in there, so we're going to skip that. There is one monster in here, Blaz something or other. He's fire-based. He's one of the bounty targets that we'll probably be hitting in Elite. Although actually, with this build we may not need to, because we're going to be farming for the Krieg set, which will give us a ton of reputation. Over there is the dynamite. We don't need that, so we're just going to ignore it. Let's see if we can't line everybody up. Okay, so we've made it through the sewers to the Malmouth Resistance headquarters, and let's do a bit of turning in here. What is this place? Yep, oh, I've been sent to help. Okay, sounds like a start. Now Olgrim's here. Alright, Assassin's Mark rank 10 is good. Okay, now in this area, I don't think you can actually... Where's Hiram? Doesn't matter. We are going to go and do the next couple of quests, and then everybody who doesn't have a Juggernaut is going to get a Juggernaut. I was considering keeping that for the Chaos Res, but I don't think I will. Okay, so we will bank all of this. Is Hiram even in here? I don't think he is. I always just buy stuff from him outside, but anyway, that's fine. Did pick up another Devotion Reset potion. Generally speaking, on most of my builds I use one or maybe two of those. It's usually the attribute potions that I need most, and of course they are much rarer. Okay, so out here in the Candle District, we are looking for, I guess, 4 things. First thing we want is the 3 carts. So we need to destroy, not the blood wagons, but basically blood wagons again. And there's one just up here. Do keep an eye out on the map, it's easy to walk past these things. I always miss the first one, well not always, but often miss the first one if I'm not specifically looking for it. Although this time it does look like I'm going to miss the first one anyway, in spite of specifically looking for it. I didn't see it anywhere, it's usually around here. That's fine, we'll find it. There is also a quest NPC in the top left corner of this map. You can see him here. Now, you may have to kill him. He may decide he wants to live this time. It seems like it's entirely random. So sometimes you'll talk to him and he'll be... Okay, looks like he's going to... Oh, no. He's chosen death. Okay. It seems like it's completely random. Whether he will fight you or he'll come with you, but he's worth XP either way, so either save him or kill him. Doesn't really matter. It doesn't change more than a few lines of dialogue anyway. Okay. After you've saved or killed him, once you've resolved the situation with the kids, we head along the top here. And we're looking for stars on the map for the wagons. And also, there's a bit of a road along the top right sort of side of this area. We're about to join it here. And once we kill these sentinels, if you head along the road here, you can find a wagon. This isn't always here, but there's a guaranteed dynamite here. And also the Aether clusters as well. if you're doing the bounties that require these spell weavers, I wouldn't say come here, but this is one of the areas where they can spawn. Also keep your eye out along here, there could be a treasure trove there. Potentially here as well for the treasure trove. Okay, there's just to the south of here, if you head out this little door here, you're off the map, and there's a hidden body here, a couple of them. So if you want a little bit of extra loot, you can pick those up. I think that's it, but there may be more. No, that's it. Okay. And when you're going up and down all these ramps and stuff, I do find that using a movement skill, if you can get it to work, is much better than trying to mouse your way up them. The game does not handle multiple heights very well, although when you're using movement skills that go to a specific target, so Blitz or Shadow Strike, it handles them much better. Alright, we need to get downstairs. Actually, before we do that, we'll head along this little edge here and we'll go say hi to Bolag. First time you come in here, Bolag is always by the gate. If you come back and you want to kill him again later, he may not be here. He could be somewhere else. Should be... Yep, there's the dash. And as soon as he goes down, I'm going to get out of the goop he put on the floor. And if I notice my health dropping, I would also get out of the goop he put on the floor. Okay, Wraithknight Pauldrons. These are an interesting option. I'm looking at the armor, and I like what I see. I'm looking at the attack damage converted to health and aether resistance. Very good. And I'm looking at the vitality and cold damage proc that also will be... Nope, that one doesn't have lifesteal. I'm liking the armor, I'm liking the lifesteal and aether resistance. The vitality damage is going to be boosted by this one here, Spectral Wrath. So that's pretty good. I may use these. I'm not going to say will, because I'm really bad at remembering that I have items a lot of the time. But also it's kind of not great for a physical build. It might be worth wearing entirely for the armor though. It will depend if I find something better before I can use them at 50. Okay. We still have 2 more wagons to find, so we've got to do a little bit more searching. So we're basically backtracking at this point, and I'm going to head more up this way, back out onto the streets instead of through the buildings. There's one more of our wagons just here. And there's the last one, so it's over here. So let's head that way. There may be a crossing over the river here. I don't normally get to this point and still have wagons that I didn't find. And I'm also looking at this totem. That's ancient though. I think we leave that alone. I'll probably start doing ancient totems in Elite, perhaps. Really, level 65 we're going to get a huge power spike when we can put on the Malmouth Resistance Vanguard set. So at that point, around 65 is probably when we're going to be the most powerful, because we'll have Juggernaut, we'll have max resistances, and we'll have really good armor and physical damage from that set. Honestly, I probably could do this now, but we're going to leave it. Kind of made a big thing about skipping the ancient totems, so continue doing as I say and not providing a bad example. Okay, let's do a bunch of turn-ins, get some XP, get another level, which means more life for us. So you can see the life bar go up a decent amount. You can see that I haven't been spending my attributes, which is not ideal. And let's go ahead and sell all of this, and we'll go outside and join the fun.
See you around.
As long as we're here. This is the set that I'm talking about. So you can see it adds flat physical damage, percent physical damage. This is all really good stuff. Aether and Chaos on one pair of shoulders. +2 to Blitz. Really nice stuff. And then where is the body? Vanguard there again. Percent damage, health, physical resist, vitality resist, +2 to Force Wave. Really, really good. That +2 to Blindside, that is this skill. Blindside's really good as well, so that set in general is amazing. Okay, we're heading outside and we're going to basically reclaim their headquarters. So we've got a bit of a fight at another rift gate, but it won't be too big of an issue. How are we doing for time? 45, okay. Maybe able to get through a decent chunk of Malmouth this episode as well. And then next episode will probably be clean up for normal and getting ready to head into elite. Alright, let's turn the loot off so I can see what's going on. Alright, fight complete. Let's pick up our loot. Okay, and there we go. Now, this is where Hiram is going to be, but we need to go collect some items for this quest. Where is it? Arming the Resistance. Once we complete that, we come back here, then we leave, come back again, and Hiram should be there, and everybody who doesn't have the Juggernaut already can go and get themselves one. Now, the Juggernaut is a pain to craft, but it's well worth it. You may have to do some farming to get some of the items needed. I think you need 12 Chthonian Seals of Binding. I think it's 12 you need. But I'll go through the Juggernaut once we get that, and I'll sort of point out where all of the components for it come from. But you will have access to all of them by this point, and the worst you're going to have to do is maybe go farming for a couple of Seals of Binding or something like that. It is definitely 100% worth it though, absolutely. I would probably say the best leveling relic in the game, and it happens to have plus soldier skills on it as well. I would use it on any melee character, it is just that good. Maybe skip it on a caster, but even for them, it's still going to be good. Alright, so here is the first of our two items. This is the arcane supplies. So we'll grab this. Don't forget to actually click on it. You can't just clear the area. It is an item you have to click on. And this little area here, does anyone know what this is for? I've been in there, I've cleared it out, there's nothing that I can see that it's actually a quest for. Anyone who knows what that's for, let me know in the comments. I have no idea. There doesn't seem to be a reason to go in there. I haven't found any quests that go in there. Maybe it's one of the ultimate only quests that I don't do very often. Maybe I actually know what it's for and I've just forgotten. But if you do know what that area is for, please let me know, because I have no idea. Alright. We're going to send Vivian back to town, and then Richter here is going to tell us about a stash that he has, and then he's going to elect to die in the streets instead of going back to town for some reason. Alright, so coming up here is one of the more dangerous areas in Ashes of Malmouth, specifically in the city of Malmouth. This little corner just here is one of the more dangerous areas in the entire city. If you get Fleshweaver Haraxus there, he will spawn with a whole bunch of extra friends, And then you will also have a bunch of mages come pouring, well, here they are, right on cue. These mages come pouring out of this building, and if you get them coming out at the same time as you get the Flesh Weaver, who's not here today, because I'm talking about him, I'm sure. But then you also have the abandoned weapons for even more monsters here. This is potentially a very, very dangerous area, so keep that in mind. If you do get the Flesh Weaver there, kind of back off, see if you can't lure half of them away, fight them, you know, a few at a time instead of all at once. Just be careful. Potentially very dangerous. Now, because the Flesh Weaver, I think it's Haraxus, because he's not there today, that means he's going to be around the corner to the left. So he will be potentially up here in this little alcove, or this road continues down here, and he may be there as well. So I'm going to poke my head up here. He's not here. Instead we get one of these little Aether Lightning Tornado things that's going to follow us around, which is fine. So he's going to be here somewhere. I'm going to clear out as much as I can before I kind of find him, or realize that he's not here. Where is he? He's not here. Okay, that's fine. I'm alright with that. I'm sure he'll jump out of a corner at some point. The other thing to note is these Flesh Warped Cores, if you absolutely had to do some sort of Aether build while you're leveling, say you want to play the dual wield Aether Death Knight that I have on the channel, this is potentially a way you could do it. Do you guys mind? I'm trying to talk here. You could get something like this. This is 50% physical converted to Aether. You can get a couple other items with some sort of Fizz converted to Aether on it as well. Or I think you can even... I'm pretty sure you can get a single one of these that will convert 100% of physical to Aether. But you can kind of do it like that. If you want an Aether Death Knight, though, I would strongly recommend leveling as a physical Force Wave Death Knight until you get to 94, and then swap over there. I think, actually, pretty much anything that isn't a water, I would say, you're probably better doing physical Force Wave than just about any other option. Waters get Primal Strike or Savagery, which are also really, really good. I would say probably Savagery is going to be the better of the two. Alright, quick little detour down here to the lighthouse. Inside the... it says it's a fort, but I'm pretty sure it's a lighthouse. Yeah, ransacked lighthouse. In here is another one of the Flesh Weavers, so I can't remember the name of this one, but there's a Flesh Weaver in here. That's level 50. Lovely. But the reason we're here is this Devotion Shrine. Level 50 means we start, from this point on, we're only going to get 2 skill points per level, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Yes, we'll confirm that. Yep, don't have any devotion points to spend. Alright, here we go. Here is our Devotion Shrine. And because we're in Ash's area... okay, Void Steel. Alright. Sure, why not? Purple gloves. These are actually not very good anyway. Having said that, I do have fire converted to... or chaos converted to fire, so... they would be decent on like a commando or something doing fire force wave, but... this is another one of those things where I'm seriously considering using this just for the armor value alone. 15% casting speed is a big deal, and it would uncap several of our resistances. But we really, really need to start finding some better armor. I'm not going to use it because it's purple, but we definitely need to start finding some more armor value. Okay, we've got Maul, which I'm going to put on Blitz. So this basically is a dash in. It'll do like a circle of blades around you that does damage will lifesteal based on the damage it does, and then it will also reduce anything it hits, will reduce their armor by 15% for 5 seconds. This is really, really good as like an opening move if you can get it to proc. Proc chance on Blitz is 68%. Skills with cooldowns generally increase, well not generally, skills with cooldowns will proc more often. So if you have a devotion proc that's like 25%, and you put it on a skill that has a 4-second cooldown, decent chance it's going to be more like 100%. It may not be exactly 100%, it might be 68%, but it will go up. Alright, so we're done in here. We go to our devotion point. Let's continue down the road. I don't think I'm going to do that detonation site. I think I'll keep my my dynamite. Alright, so there's some people in houses just up ahead who we need to rescue. So we'll get on that, head in here, and up the stairs. Here is my good friend Hiram. This is where you get him from. Okay, and we'll send him back to town. Something loose in my mouse is not really something I want to deal with. Alright. And just here at the base of the bridge, I'm going to drop a rift, and then we're going to head up this bridge. Pick up the bomb, and blow up the door here. There we go. And there's a rift gate just through here, as well as Creed, or Algrim, sorry. Alright, and we'll take care of his vents in a moment. First, we have to go back here. Actually, first... No, we'll do this first. That's fine. Dreadwalker footpads. Blue items, I might use those. So you see that that little slash there? That is the mole proc hitting all those, shredding their armor. Void Steel or Dreadwalker footpads. The armor is not actually amazing. However, that Drain Soul proc is pretty good. Chaos Res and Elemental Res uncapped. Alright, I'm going to hang on to those as well. So this would be just Chaos that would be uncapped. Okay, you know what? We're going to go juggle some components because I really need some more armor. Okay, so we're going to keep that add-on. Alright, that's gone. We can't undo it. This is permanent now. Resistances are all mostly capped. Aether is now massively overcapped, which means this Aether ward is no longer any good for us. So we're going to toss that, and instead, I'm going to go get Purified Salt or Silver, whichever one does Chaos. Chaos Res, there we go, Imbued Silver, alright. So now we have a different buff to go here, Void Ward. And that puts our Chaos at 83%. We did lose 3% max Aether Res, so actually I lied. That 3% max Aether Res is something that I wanted. It's also not really the biggest of problems. I can't change those over, unfortunately. Same with these. If I chuck that on, well, one, I said no purple items, but actually, let's just get rid of that before I change my mind, because that would really, really help. That's all range stuff. You can keep that. Alright. There we go. We changed a few items around, got a bunch more armor on this shoulder, and that's actually really, really nice. Notice that the actual armor piece has just shy of 600. But when you look at how much it actually has, it's almost 1,000. So, really, really nice. Okay, let's continue on. I probably should have done that as soon as I hit 50, let's be honest. Those shoulders are... the previous ones had really nice resistances, but yeah, the armor value on them was quite low. Alright, and here's the last people we're going to rescue just now. So, we have Nadia here. There we go. Alright, let's bounce back to the Steel Cap District, and I think at this point... this is a good place to stop the video, actually. But Hiram here, when we come back again, or after we turn in a couple of these quests, perhaps, will be a merchant. I think we have to leave and come back again. And that'll be something I go through at the start of the next episode. But as I said, that'll about do us for this episode, so thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye for now.